The first battle of David was internal battles. Internal battles. David was a king that would come outside and smile, but his home was on fire. David was a king that would come outside and just smile, bring gesticulation. People think he's living a life that's joyful, but his home was dying. Sir, what destroys a man is inside. There are many of us today who can smile, who can appear cheerful, but we are dying. We are dying. David was a man whose home was unsettled. He had a son called Amnon. Of all women in the whole of Israel, the only person Amnon was having attraction to was his sister. Amnon had attraction to his sister. 2 Samuel chapter 13. He liked his sister. He was crazy about the sister. He could not sleep. His own blood sister. What kind of incest is this? He was a king, but you look at his children. Their attraction, their motivation and appetite was abnormal. David was going through battles until Amnon defied Tamar. Amnon defied the sister. David's heart was broken. As if that was not enough, David had a son called Absalom. Absalom meant so much to him. Absalom was a young man. The Bible, speaking of Absalom, said Absalom in those days, the Bible says he was beautiful. For the Bible to use beautiful for a man, his hair, every year they will gather to weigh his hair. Not human hair, natural. Absalom was 2 Samuel 14:25 or 26. Absalom was a man, the Bible says, from head to toes. Okay. But in all Israel, there was none to be much praised as Absalom. For what? He was handsome. Beauty. From the sole of his feet, even to the crown. You can now see that his appearance was a curse. His appearance was a curse. His appearance was used for disaster. Because when it comes from God, it's from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. When it's abused, it's always from the sole of your feet to the crown of your head. When Job was attacked and became sick, the Bible says, and Job was afflicted from the sole of his feet to the, anytime you see something starting from the sole of the feet, it's abuse. Because what God does, it does from the crown of the head. Ladies and gentlemen, Absalom did not need the throne. Only his hair was business. Only Absalom's hair was enough business. Just let your hair grow, cut it, build house. Let your hair grow, cut it, buy car. He had natural investment. But Absalom was a threat to David, his own son. David fought 66 battles. He never ran from anybody. You attempt David, he come after you. All his battles, he won all. The only time David ran was from his own son. David had 10 concubines. Absalom was advised that to rubbish his father, he should have intercourse with all his father's concubines. He did not just do it. He did it on the rooftop. All Israel were watching him. There are people today, outside is okay. Business might be struggling. Issues might be happening. But when they look at their home, their heart break. When they look at the kind of woman they marry, their heart break. They look at the kind of man they are married to, their heart break. They look at their children, their heart break. There are internal battles you are fighting. You are fighting battles over your marriage, fighting battles over your children, fighting battles over your wife, fighting battles over your spouse. There are some people today, everybody loves them, but when they look at their siblings, their heart break. Their major enemies are their own brothers and sisters. I can tell you, men become depressed. I have seen great men taking blood pressure drugs. They have money, but when they look at their children, their heart is broken. Internal battles. There are some of you under the sound of my voice. There are things you can't tell people because it's a mockery. There are things you can't say to people because it's a shame. There are things you can't say to people because they will laugh at you. But there is a God that will not laugh at you. There's a God that will stand with you. There's a God that will defend you. 2 Samuel 15:14, David said from Jerusalem, let us run, lest Absalom overtakes us. And David said unto all his servants that were with him at Jerusalem, arise, let us flee, for we shall not escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly. And, oh my God, and bring evil upon us and smite the city with the edge of the sword. Man running from his own son. He didn't run from Goliath. Do you know part of why David ran? Not for fear. His son should not die from his hands. David knew that this boy does not know what he's bringing on himself. If I engage you, sometimes when people avoid you, it's not because you are powerful, it's because they don't want to share innocent blood. There are some matters you should learn to avoid. There are some people who have signed a covenant with death. They are looking for who will kill them. You just push like this, they pass out.